And we're live. Amazing. Hello, everyone. Have a lovely Thursday. Hope you're doing well. I have an exciting event, an exciting conversation prepared for today. And I have a couple of guests, as you might see them. And we will be talking about Clubhouse. If you don't know what Clubhouse is, it's this new social media platform app that's audio only, that it's a conversation real-time platform where for now there's nothing being recorded, so you can only join rooms of handful of people or a couple tens of handful of people, and you can join a conversation, you can listen to a conversation, you can host a conversation, but once it's done, it's done. And there are no likes, no comments, no DM, so it's pretty stripped back to just the basics, which is quite exciting. So I got a couple people today, maybe even more joining if they haven't forgotten about it. Just calling you out then. And we will have a conversation from a different perspectives, from perspective of a marketer and from a perspective of a small business owner and a startup owner, entrepreneur, to see where are the potentials of Clubhouse. Should we be spending time or should we not be spending time on? So I will give you all guys the time to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit more about you, who you are, what you do, and also what is your take on Clubhouse for the time being. So shall we start with Gus?
Sure. Hi. And thanks for obviously Lenka for having me here as well. That's great. I really appreciate it. So for the audience, my name is Gus. I run a digital marketing agency called the M Guru. I do social media and digital marketing for small businesses. And obviously, being a social media marketer, I have to work out how every platform and every channel works, so I can obviously use them for my clients. So to be honest, I've been on Clubhouse for a couple of months now, and I love it. I think it's great. It's a really good, for me, it's a really good tool for learning. And I think that's the thing. There's so many people on there who are willing to, impart knowledge for free. And that's kind of, that's the way I use it at the moment. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Awesome. How about you, Alex?
Alex, so Shifties is the organization I represent. I'm an entrepreneur. I've got a multitude of businesses in different sectors. And I'm very lucky to be directly aligned with Lenka and her amazing team at Cambridge Social Media. Lots of exciting things happening in conjunction with Shifties. Clubhouse, for me, I've been on there for a few weeks. I'm absolutely hooked on it. I think it's a phenomenal place to network and connect with others. And as Gus alluded to there, you've got access to some amazing people that are happy to share their knowledge. So, it's probably replaced 50% of my podcast listening time, just because you've got that in the moment, in the room, fly on the wall kind of situation. But most importantly for me so far, like the biggest benefit I've seen from it personally is those smaller, really hyper-focused conversations on various subjects. So, for instance, yesterday I jumped in a call in a Clubhouse room with Lenka, Making and Dan Holloway, and we were kind of nattering around automation and just sharing tips and tricks around automation and what it means to us. I had another chat yesterday which was interesting, which we just labeled as we believe the education system in the UK is screwed. Discuss. And you can imagine all the different diverse opinions. Yeah, I think it's just been a great platform to network. And when we're in a situation where we're all locked in our own homes or our own situations, it's a refreshing platform to enable you to spark those conversations and build your network.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely my perspective is that I do love it as a way to join conversations for really the social element, joining smaller rooms, talking to people, meeting new people. It's great to step outside of your kind of algorithm-defined bubble that you might see on Facebook and Instagram. All the algorithms give us a little bit of a bubble. And this kind of helps us for the moment break through this bubble and explore new topics, join new conversation, meet new people. So that's absolutely fantastic. But my first question to you guys is, when it comes to small business owners who have very limited time to their marketing, and social media can get very busy, very overwhelming, very time consuming, should or should not they be trying out Clubhouse and spending time on it?
I'll let Gus start with this, and I'll see if I can add some value. He's the expert in this space.
Sure. No, well, expert in inverted commas, I think it is. But yeah, no, I appreciate that, Alex, and thank you, Lenka. I think I think all businesses should try Clubhouse. One of my biggest I've made some notes, and one of my biggest bugbears in the notes I made is that the people who haven't tried Clubhouse then saying, "Oh, I don't like Clubhouse," or "I'm not interested in that concept," or "I don't want to be on it," or "It sounds terrible," and all this kind of stuff. As with anything, you should try it first, and to check it out to see whether it's good or not. And I think for the vast majority of businesses, it is good because you get access to so many people that are giving essentially their time and their value for free. There's loads of decent, really good rooms in there. Don't get me wrong, there's some bad ones as well, but there's a lot of good ones. And for me, it's the only place where I'm learning about subjects which I wouldn't really research or really look for anywhere else, and all sorts of things. And I'm not just talking about the Dream Girls kind of auditions, for those of you who know about that, but it's there's so much to learn on there. And I think all businesses should definitely check it out. And like Alex said, you spend less time on podcasts and more time in, for example, in Clubhouse, because it's just like a radio where you pick the best station to listen to, and then you kind of, you learn from that radio station, and and obviously if you want to partake, you then get to, it's like a live radio phone in, right? You get to get up on the stage and impart knowledge, but also ask questions as well. So personally, I think every business should try it at least once. I think that's my opinion.
How about you, Alex? What's your take on it?
So I think to go like hyper focused on small businesses and micro businesses, which is kind of where the space I'm in. I think from a business point of view, we know networking is huge. Like 80% of the growth that we've achieved across our businesses has come through the contacts that we've made and the networking that we've done. So this allows you to replicate that. So I think from a business point of view, just being in there, getting involved in the various conversations that interest you, you're going to make contacts that are useful to your business and hopefully spark some collaborations and whatever else. But more strategically, I think depending on what your business is, I do think there is a great opportunity in there to utilize Clubhouse as a platform within your, whether you take a funnel approach or a flywheel approach, whatever approach you're taking with your business, having Clubhouse as an accessible place where you can host conversations around your specific subject. So if you're, you see a lot of coaches using it, so that it's a perfect opportunity to do live coaching sessions that people can listen into. They can get to feel and see your expertise and watch you at work. That makes complete sense to have that as part of your stack in the way that you're marketing your business. I do think that there's some great opportunities. I was speaking to May King about this, and I saw May's on here. Hey, May, hope you're well. And we were having a chat about this. Oh, look, she's straight on the stream. Look, she's in here. Look, this is like Clubhouse. Look, someone else just jumped on the stage. I think it's a good opportunity. I think paired with Twitter, paired with other platforms. When you see, we were having a conversation yesterday. You see May King posting up on Insta saying, "Yeah, this nugget's just come out of this conversation," or whatever else. I think there's a great opportunity to utilize the platform in a way for events. It will really replace and replicate or add value to in-person or hybrid online events. I think it's certainly a good opportunity for that. So from a business point of view, from a small business point of view, especially if you're kind of advisor, professional services. We had a group running between Dan Jones and Michael Latimer the other night, random one, just called Bitcoin, Business and Beards. And we set the rules in there that said, right, you have to stay in the line of conversation around these three subjects. Now, to be clear, Dan owns a beard oil company, so that was one. The crypto stuff, Michael's a massive nerd on it, and I love business. So we just stayed in those. It was 3 hours. Next thing you know, there's like 60, 70 people listening to this random conversation we're having about Bitcoin, business, and beards. And the human connection we got with the people that were listening in made for a fantastic opportunity for us to further connect with those off the platform. We've got to keep going, Gus, because here we go. Look, we can hand over to Dan and May King to introduce themselves.
I was just going to say,
save Lenka.
yeah, indeed. I think, well, first of all, Dan should tell us where he's been, but then he should also tell us all about himself, because he's also one of Clubhouse's newest legends, I think.
Yeah, do it.
I wouldn't quite say legend. Legendary, maybe. Who knows? Apologies for being a bit late, but for some random reason, when I plug my microphone into my laptop, it then basically locks up my laptop. So I am literally like talking on old school headphones type stuff. So forgive the poor quality audio. So yeah, but I'm here though. Ta-da! So my name's Dan Holloway. I am a business strategist. So I basically help you to grow and scale. Go from start to growth, growth to scale. Because similar to what Alex was saying, there's a lot of stuff you can learn on Clubhouse, but at the same time, just as in business in general, you have to go through phases of growth. And what you do to start on Clubhouse is not what you do to grow on Clubhouse, and is not going to be what you do to scale on Clubhouse. Exactly the same strategies that we're going to be talking about here will replicate on every single social media platform you have and in your business as a whole. So that's going to be interesting to dig into. But that's a little bit about me. I'm a father. I am of two, a husband to a very understanding wife. And yes, my hair fell out when I was about 21, and I've been shaving it since then. That's about it.
I love how we zoomed in on you as you said that you shaved your head. It was like zoom in on Dan's head.
It's really shiny. Look.
Oh, sorry guys, I dropped off a little, but I'm so happy that you kind of kept going with it. Awesome to see you, Dan, here. And hello to May King. And May King is here to help us explain how can we create FOMO on Clubhouse, or should we create FOMO on Clubhouse or above Clubhouse? So how about you, my lovely?
Hi, everyone. Can everyone hear me? All good?
Yeah.
All good.
Great, fantastic. So hi, everyone. My name is May King Sang, first name May King, and I call myself the FOMO creator. And I am on all the socials as May King T. Now, I just want to follow on from what Gus was saying about how small businesses should try Clubhouse and should definitely give it a try. Now, I want you to raise your hands or give us an emoji if you are an introvert. Anybody? Anybody? Yeah, I am an ambivert. So I'm sometimes an introvert, sometimes I'm an extrovert. So Clubhouse is fantastic for introverts because you don't even need to put your lippy on. You don't need to get changed. You know, you can stay in your PJs and you just listen and get some incredible advice from Dan, get some incredible advice from Alex, get some incredible advice from Lenka, which is what I did yesterday when I was invited to pop into Dan's room. Now, small businesses, if you guys are already on Instagram, you're already on Twitter, amazing. Clubhouse isn't that much more for you to do. All you do is go onto your favorite platform, Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, and document what you have heard. So on Clubhouse, you know, if you've got some great advice from Dan, tweet about it. If you receive some great advice from Alex, Instagram it, do a quick story, screenshot it. Now, this is what we call repurposing, and repurposing is big at the moment. It's basically, if you've got one photo, where can you squeeze it? Where can you put it across all the socials and create that FOMO? If you are sharing great knowledge, you are associating your brand with the experts and the brands out there. And by giving them gratitude and saying, thank you so much for your piece of advice, you are actually shining the spotlight on yourself because you're telling the world that you are a nice person. And if you're telling the world you are a nice person, that's the first touch point that people can gain into you as a person and as a brand. And it's the first step for you to create FOMO for your business. Now, most business owners jumps right to the end. Buy from me. give me your business card. I'll give you some discounts. And you can't do that. We need to get to know you first. So how do we get to know you? We get to know you as a person. So if you share great knowledge, that is the first step for you to create FOMO for your business. And it doesn't matter what platform you're on. So get on Clubhouse, listen, pay attention, write some notes, get it on Instagram, get it on Twitter, get it on get it on YouTube or whatever your favorite platform is, and start creating FOMO for your business right now.
She's on commission. She's on commission. Boom, boom. Can I just follow up on that, making he's actually just dropped a mic. Dan has. I've just seen it in the background. I'd be really interested to hear Lenka and Gus's opinion on this, and Dan. I know Dan's got YouTube as well, but in terms of making Clubhouse a key pillar of content for someone, obviously there's I don't know around the recording aspect. I know that it was kind of rumored that you could record if you had permission from the stage. I don't know how true that is now. But in terms of making Clubhouse a key pillar of content and repurposing in that way, taking lessons from it, taking screenshots and stuff, I'd be interested to hear Gus and Lenka in particular's opinion on that.
Sorry, Lenka's on mute, but I presume Lenka said, Gus, to give us your stuff.
Go
So thanks. Thank you, Lenka. Yeah, I think the thing with Clubhouse, because obviously it's an audio only platform that's not being recorded, so everything is live. So if you're not there, it's kind of like Chatham House rules, right? If you're not there, you don't hear it, kind of thing, obviously. But yes, Alex, you're right. If you get permission from all the speakers and also everybody in the audience, and make sure that you regularly tell them that it's being recorded, you can record. In the early days, they kind of didn't allow that, etc. So now you have to be very explicit if you are recording, and Clubhouse are going to bring that into the platform at some point in the future. But I spend a lot of time with Tristan Griffiths, who some of you may know, and I spend time with him on Clubhouse. And whereas he doesn't obviously record the actual chat itself, what he does, he just spends the whole time kind of making notes, etc. And then, as May King said, he's basically creating FOMO by tweeting it, Instagramming it, then he's writing a blog from it. And it's great because it's real time, it's live questions. People are asking you for your help and your support and your knowledge, and you're obviously answering them. So it's like live blogging, right? You kind of write, well, this is what people are asking right now, this is live, and this is what we're telling people kind of in the real world. You create blogs, you can create articles, you can create LinkedIn posts, tweets, Instagram, everything, etc. So that's where I think, particularly in terms of using Clubhouse as a tool for growing your business and repurposing content, that's kind of where it comes from. Because obviously it shows you as the authority if you're kind of sharing that content. That's my opinion. Lenka?
Yeah, that's a great perspective. And you can use something like Otter.ai or something that transcribes as you speak, so you can literally talk and have your phone actually be capturing the word, the content, and then repurpose it. But I think that one of the things that we definitely as business owners can use Clubhouse, it's to deepen our relationships, which for me, I've been getting into the point of social media is very often superficial, where there's a lot of noise, lots of people, lots of connections. And Clubhouse gives you the opportunity to really take certain relationships and make them more deeper, more meaningful, more personalized. It is less scalable, but Clubhouse still allows you a reasonable scalability. But it really allows you to build more quality, meaningful, deeper relationship with your colleagues, customers, prospects. And yes, you can build yourself as the expert in the industry. So my perspective is definitely, I love the fact that for now it's real time only, that there is no massive backlog of content that I need to go through, that if I join a conversation, I join a conversation. If I don't, that I don't. It's interesting then to think about it in terms of the FOMO, and I liked Making's point on making the FOMO kind of using the content outside of Clubhouse. It's not necessarily about you becoming the biggest account on Clubhouse, but using what you've learned on Clubhouse outside. So that would be my take on. Is there anything, Dan or Making, you would want to add to it?
So I was going to add something, which, I mean, you guys know, and you've heard me talk about this before. But I think especially on Clubhouse is probably the closest. I'm going to get closer to the mic, by the way, just in case it's like terrible. It's probably the closest to in-person events that, frankly, we can actually do at the moment. And because it is the closest to an in-person event as we can really get right now, I think people sometimes forget how to actually conduct themselves and build relationships with people in the first place. And they almost get a little bit like confused about, so how do I actually talk to people, and how do I actually kind of like form a relationship and deepen a relationship? And you guys know on the panel that I actually teach that in terms of picking up someone in a bar. And I laugh every time I talk about it. But if you get onto Clubhouse and you just sit in a room and don't do anything and don't say anything and don't kind of get the attention of anyone, you're basically the person who sat at the end of the bar quietly drinking their drink and then going home on your own every night and wondering what you spent like the entire evening doing. Equally, if you go into a bar and you ask every single person to sign up for your emailing list, then you're the equivalent of someone who's basically just after one thing. And if you're a services business, that's probably not you. So the only real way of forming a relationship on Clubhouse is doing what you would do when you go and try and pick up someone in a bar. And whether we've been good at that in the past or whether we've been on the receiving end of it, positively or negatively, we know what works and we know what doesn't, because as humans, we get it, right? So you would walk into a bar, you'd get the attention of someone, a little kind of like a hair flick if you had for there. I don't. A hair flick, like a wink, like a little kind of nod or a smile, you get the attention of someone. On Clubhouse, that's the equivalent of, saying hi, popping up on as a moderator in a room. You're more prominent, right? And when you're more prominent, then you can start a conversation with someone. What's a nice girl like you doing a place like this, kind of thing, or whatever that may be. And then the conversation starts from there. Can I talk to you? It'd be lovely to get to know you better. Do you want to host a room together? Do you want to go for a coffee? That kind of thing. And then you actually talk like humans. The people who go on Clubhouse and then just immediately pitch and immediately want to kind of get you on their email list and then say, oh, bye, and then move on to the next 50 people. That's not how to build a relationship if you want more than just something transactional. So that's my take on Clubhouse in general. I would do a mic drop. I'm holding the microphone here, so imagine one.
Brilliant. If you want to add anything kind of generally, then do. Otherwise, I will start going through the comments from our listeners, from our audience, and we will dive into some of their questions.
I think just quick one. Sorry, May, go on. You go first, May. Over to you.
Making, Alex, do I have to give you 100 lines?
Sorry.
That's why I put making together, just to test, so people get my name right, and it seems to be working. So making, Alex, 100 lines on detention. Send me after school. Right. Yes, what Dan was saying, people have actually forgotten to network. And so I loved what Dan said yesterday in his chat room. He said, treat a Clubhouse as a virtual summit. And, when you're at a conference, you do start talking to people. You don't thrust your business card at people, or in Clubhouse, there's a lot of willy waving. That's my favorite phrase. There's a lot of people who are loud. They're talking about how much they know, but do they know? Just because they're shouting the loudest does not necessarily mean that they know. So if you're looking for an expert, perform a due diligence first. I've been invited to quite a few Clubhouse rooms, and I don't want to associate my brand with some of the people who have invited me because their values do not are in disagreement with mine. For whatever reason, they're spammers or they think they are an expert and they're really not. And I don't want to associate my brand with that. So be careful in Clubhouse. There are a lot of willy wavers, a lot of people who are shouting. Perform due diligence, ask questions, and listen and share. Build relationships, like Dan said. you know, and support people and just shine the spotlight on people as well. If people are going in the first time, you know, make them feel alive, you know, make them feel like they're the most important person on the planet. That's what I try and aim to do on Clubhouse. And yeah, like I say, just be careful of those cowboys out there. There are a lot of them. I'll shut up now.
Alex, what's your at? What's your bit?
Thank you very much, May King. Thank you very much. Sorry, I'm terrible. So yeah, no, I just wanted to add to that. Yeah, just re-emphasizing that point, that because you can't hide in there. You know, if you don't know what you're talking about, then you're going to get found out very quickly. And you know, sometimes that may, you know, everyone has it. You know, whether it be in Clubhouse or in any other format, you know, you feel that imposter syndrome come through, or you know, you feel like you're on the stage and you're like, well, there's multi-millionaires and stuff on this stage, but we all have value to add in the different areas that we can. So I think, you know, just be conscious of that. There are ways that, I mean, the quickest way to kind of grow your following and grow your opportunities to have more time on stage is collaborating with other people, which is why I'm so happy that May King is on here now, and Lenka and Dan, and there's so many other people that I'm collaborating with on the platform, hosting all like forms of different conversation. That's the kind of real key for me. It's the collaboration. So it's the same as real life. It's just exact replica. You know, find cool people that have the same interests as you and have great discussions around those subjects, and it will just start to scale for you. But I see a few comments in there saying, you know, it's quite scary putting your hand up and things like that. But you know, I'll tell you one thing. It was last Friday night. I was invited to co-host an event. It was a 3-hour session on a Friday night talking about entrepreneurship generally. And when Simon, a lady called Jess Butcher, a guy called Aaron, they all started introducing themselves, and they're going around and they're, you know, I've retired and multi-millionaire. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm you know, I kind of really specialize in micro businesses. I'm not as quite as far along in the journey as they are. But actually, you know, by the end of that session, it was like nearly 600 people listening. I picked up something like 100 followers through that session, following up with those people, made some amazing connections because I was something different. I was adding a different layer to the conversation that wasn't, as you say, some of the big guns, the millionaires and billionaires conversations. It was a bit more a micro business level. So we've all got value to add. I think the key point there is just finding the right people to collaborate with.
Fantastic. Awesome. Shall we jump into some of the questions from the community then? Let's start with Lisa, or Lisa Marie. Don't want to go wrong with the name. She says that she would like to host a room, but she is afraid, which I absolutely understand. We all might feel a little nervous at the first time. So any tips for kind of Clubhouse newbies who are in there, they're listening, but they are still not ready to host their first room? What would you do?
Can I take that one? Do you mind?
Yes, go for it.
All right. So to be fair, I don't even know if I'm an introvert or an extrovert or an omnivert. I don't know. I've been working on kind of self-awareness for so many years. I genuinely don't know which one I fit into. Sometimes I think I can be both, maybe. Sometimes I think I'm faking it. Who knows? Now I was, and I've spoken about this in Lenka's room before. Actually, I was massively bullied when I was at school. So I was hugely just inward for best part probably throughout my 20s. It wasn't until my late 20s, early 30s when I met my wife that I actually I went into therapy to stay with her, because I knew I was going to basically dump her just because I got scared if I didn't get help, because it's what I'd done in every other relationship I'd ever had. And a lot of that fear went back to school, right? And one of the, long story short, one of the therapists I worked with, they actually got me to, and this is something you can do yourself, Lisa, you can think back to what really the root cause of the first time, let's say, that you actually felt that way, you felt apprehensive and scared and fearful, and often it's going to be, something that happened way back in your past that really just triggered that anxiety and that fear, and you're not wanting to do it again. And when I went through it with myself, it was actually, I won't go through the whole story because it's like an hour long to me to explain it all. But short version, I basically got punched in the head in front of about 300 people. I was crying because I wasn't sure if they'd like loosened something in my brain or if I was actually upset. It was a horrific incident. And ever since then, I hated being in public because when you have 300 people basically laughing at you when you're the victim of something like that vicious, it scarred me, right? And the therapist got me to think back that moment and replay the whole thing again and again and again and again. And I went through it in my head over and over and over. But each time he said, give the person who did that to you clown feet. And the next time, give them a clown nose, give them ridiculous hair, make the hair bigger, and then make the hair bigger, and then make the hair bigger. And I went through this story probably about 100 times, right? And now I can't think back to that moment without smiling. And after that moment, after that session I had with him, I no longer felt fearful about being in public again and showing up on camera. And there's a bunch of other things that I've gone through as well. It's been like a year's worth of journey. But when you start picking away at those things and use little kind of mechanisms like I just described, you can start unlocking the things that hold you back. And that's what worked for me. It may work for you, it may not. I don't know. Everyone's individual and everyone's unique. But for me, that's what helped. And now I genuinely, I don't care about showing up on camera at all. I would never have done what I'm doing right now, sharing that story 5-10 years ago, never in a million years. But now I do it whenever anyone asks. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, that was really helpful. And there is another kind of a comment question from a lovely virtual assistant to assist. And she said that she joined the room last week with so much fear, got called up on stage, and her internet just went crazy, which, hey, it happened to me a minute ago. And anyone kind of tips on, making sure that you are staying as safe and as comfortable as possible? And I can see Making having her hand up, so go for it.
Hi, Lisa. I just want to say what I heard from a Clubhouse room, I think it was a couple of days ago, actually. They said, which really stabbed me in the heart. And then when I calmed down, I thought, okay, let's hear what he just said. He said that if you are scared, that's the ego talking. That's your ego talking. And I was like, what? What are you on about? I don't have an ego. But what he meant was that we are worried about being judged. We are worried about what we look like. We are worried about looking stupid. We are so scared, okay? I mean, I nearly didn't pop in today because I've got a zit, which means I can't put my normal lipstick and my foundation on. My hair's in a mess, and I thought, I didn't want to come on because I was really scared, but why? Who cares? No one cares about what I look like. They care about the words. They care about my message. And if you remember why you are in business, my why for being in business is to make an impact with every person that interacts with my stuff, that lurks on my content, that sends me a DM, that watches my videos or tweets or the rest of it, okay? I want to make an impact on that one person. Now, when I remember that, I'm making it about that person. I'm making it about my why. So then suddenly it doesn't matter what I look like, whether I've got a hat on or not, whether I've got my makeup on or not, or my zits or not. And if you can remember that, then hopefully it's less about you, but more about the impact that you're going to make on the world. Imagine if you didn't speak, Lisa, and imagine you didn't help that one person who is absolutely needing your advice right now. So if you can make it more about why you're in business, then it makes it less about you, and hopefully that will also help you to be less fearful of speaking. And also, if you're scared, it means you're in great company. You're only scared because you care, Beyonce throws up every time she goes and does her concert, and it's because she cares so much for her fans. So think about that too. You're in great company. You're with Beyonce.
Awesome. And I would add only one thing to this, and it was one of the things we talked about in one of my Clubhouse rooms. There are things that you can do to make yourself comfortable, make yourself more on it, and make sure that some of the technical issues that might appear are not kind of challenging you, where definitely have a co-host, have a co-moderator. So ask someone. It doesn't need to be an expert in your industry. It could be someone simply to be there with you as a listener, as a facilitator, make them moderator. So if your internet drops out, they can still keep your room open. And, you know, at the beginning, if you have a new room that no one knows about, it feels less awkward to be talking to one person than sitting there in your room alone and hoping that someone might join. And when you're hosting a room, tell a couple people, tell a couple friends to join you in, ping people in, and start small with conversations, and you will definitely feel more comfortable and confident later on. I will keep an eye on other questions. There's been a lot and lot. So
can I chime in on that quickly, Lenka? Sorry.
Go for it.
And yeah, so two things. Like one, like real practical thing: breathe and move. Like I did this 24-hour live-a-thon recently, and the best thing I did to kind of get my confidence up, get my energy up, get me breathing was taking 15 minutes to just breathe and then do some movement. So just get that energy up because it's just scientifically going to help you. The other thing, just to lean on what the others were saying, these are you need to find your May Kings. You need to find your Dans and Lenkas and Gus. You need to find people that you can go and experience these things together. It makes it a lot easier when you can support each other through that. So, you know, you've got amazing people in your industry. You're a thought leader in what you do, Lisa. I know Lisa very well. So I know that on the subjects that you're passionate about and the things that you love, if you create subjects around that, create your bio around that, something we haven't really talked about much today, but to, you know, really curate your bio around the things that you love, the things that you're interested in, and then go seek out those people, create yourself a little tribe, a little club, and then it'll just take a pressure away a little bit. But the practical advice is breathe and move.
Awesome. Interesting question from Eva, and she's asking, how are you following up the connections you make on Clubhouse? Did any of them result in collaboration so far? Gus, go for it.
Hi. Yeah, I saw that question in the chat earlier, and it's really interesting. And I know that John Grant also asked a question about, you know, is it just for learning, or are you actually, well, to be honest, is it good for business as well, kind of thing? And actually, so I think the two questions kind of, yeah, there's questions. Well, great. I think you know they go hand in hand, and I think the thing about Clubhouse is the fact that yes, I go on there to learn. Yes, I go on there to kind of to listen to others, but actually there's lots of people on there that's, you know, want to hear from others. And, you know, and going back to Lisa's and, you know, to assist point about being a moderator and going into a room and actually kind of showing authority. You can't fake confidence, and you can't, you know, fake, you know, being you know, trying to be someone that you're not. So you can only go in there, be natural, set up a room, just go and do it. But then people are going to listen because people want to hear your knowledge, because not everybody knows everything. For me personally, I go in there, I try and impart knowledge, but I try to listen to others. And as Alex said, because I've optimized my bio, people read my bio and think, oh, actually, I want to buy this, or I want to have conversations with this. Because you can't have conversations directly on Clubhouse outside of a Clubhouse room. People either follow you on Twitter or on Instagram. Me personally, I follow them up. I send them a DM saying, thanks for following me, thanks for listening to me on Clubhouse, etc. If there's anything else I can do. And I, for want of, you know, sorry for sounding like a willy wanger, as Making said, you know, I've made money from Clubhouse, but it's completely fortuitous. It was completely by accident, to be honest. It's people who liked me and liked what I was telling them and thought that I was an authority in what I was saying. So just remember that you don't you don't go on there and be you please buy from me, hashtag buy my stuff. That's not, nobody likes that stuff. Unless you want to know how to make 8 figures and stuff. Which reminds me of a great joke. The best way to an 8-figure business, start with 9 figures. So, but yeah, just don't go on there with the sales thought, but make sure that you're an authority in what you do, and you can obviously impart knowledge to others. And I think that's the important thing. And obviously, that's where the collaborations will come, because once people listen to you, they get to know you, they get to like you, and ultimately they get to trust you, and they'll obviously want to work with you. So, yeah, don't be the salesman, but go in and kind of have good conversations and just grow a tribe around you, whether it's on Twitter or Instagram or anywhere else.
And you nicely touched on one of the questions that also appeared. I will let you other guys talk a little bit. Just want to add this, where I think it was Luke who was asking any tips on becoming popular Clubhouse. So it's nice to keep this in balance. How do you provide value, make it a business, but at the same time, it's becoming a popular thing to strive for? And I saw that Alex had his hand up. So Alex, go for it.
Yeah, so tips on becoming popular on Clubhouse. I mean, you can hack it if you wanted. If you wanted to play the games, you jump in with all these, become very helpful to other people doing good things. I mean, I'm sure that over the years that Lenka's had Cambridge social media, and in fact, I know it for a fact, that helping out in this community and supporting what Lenka's doing in her community is good for the community. It's good for that person because they get that exposure, and you've got that platform to kind of make a name for yourself. I think you can definitely utilize other people's clubs and other people's reach to do that, but just be careful. It's the same in all business. It doesn't matter whether it's social media related or not. Sales, we produce. I don't like the fact that this Willy Wangler thing is a thing. Making you don't do that to us. But we produce a lot of sales across our businesses, and we've never sold anything in our lives. It's all about relationship building. It's all about adding value to people's lives and connecting with people at a deeper level. Those relationships turn into something. So, for instance, I was having a chat with a lady in Clubhouse the other day. She so happens to be, this wasn't on purpose, but she so happens to be a blogger about tiny homes. Well, I co-own a brand called Snuggeries, and we build glamping pods and bespoke garden rooms. So we're having a conversation about her experiences. She's got over 100,000 followers on Instagram. I didn't pitch her. I've just stayed connected. And it just goes into one of that opportunity stream, wherever you track your opportunities. So I think following on from what Gus was saying, it's just courteous to follow up with people that have connected with you to say, hey, thank you for connecting. If there's anything else you want to discuss or you want to have a chat offline, then that's just a courteous thing that you should do and should be a solid part of your sales process for any business. So I think there's definitely financial and business opportunities in it. For instance, I'm actually buying out lots of .club domains. I don't know what anyone else thinks of this, but I tried to get 10x.club because on the hope that Grant Cardone might try and buy it from me, so to get a bit of a one-up on the billionaires clubs. But I think there's some good opportunities to serve other people that are in Clubhouse, that are utilizing Clubhouse. If you're looking to, if you're a copywriter, great opportunity, because when you're sitting there having a chat on Clubhouse, you're looking through people's profiles and checking them out. I think that's a great opportunity as a service to people. Headshots, great opportunity. Buying the domains, as I say, great opportunity. I think there's a lot of business opportunities in that ecosystem that can be looked at.
Nice. Anyone else wants to add anything, or?
Joe, just what Alex was saying about domains. I too have been going a little bit nuts with with .club domains. So I think I registered about 12 the other day. So like Dan knows .club, right? So I'm going to be using the hashtag of Dan knows. And me, King, and I have been having fun with this on Twitter. So it's like Dan knows. So hashtag Dan knows, hashtag great people, hashtag Dan knows, hashtag like at Alex, whatever Alex is to handle, I can't remember. So we've just been doing loads of play on words, but I've got hashtag like business mentors, business mentorship. I've got, I can't even remember the ones I've registered. I just went through loads of commonly searched for terms, business strategy, things that kind of in my domain, and I just went and registered 12 of them, and they were like £2 each. So I was like, yeah, okay, £24, happy days, there you go. But yeah, I started using danknows.club, and then when I set up a club, it's going to be called something around the long lines of Dan Knows. Dan knows business strategy, Dan knows this, Dan knows like Instagram. I'm just going to be rolling with it.
I've just bought 11x.club, so I can go one up on Grant Cardone. So
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Dan, neither of you are competing with me on. I'm currently bidding on entrepreneur.club, and I'm having some battles with someone anonymously. So I hope neither of you are trying to battle me on that one.
Do you know? I did look. It started at £5,000.
I've actually got a couple of .club domains as well. Partly inspired by Dan, he recommended that I do that. So, and in fact, later on this year, last year I didn't set it up because I got imposter syndrome, but this year is my year. I am going to create the FOMO Creator Academy. So I did actually register FOMOcreator.club because it is going to be an amazing club. So anyway, but no, I'm not in.
I'll be in it.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
Count us all in. Yeah, we'll all be there.
Amazing. So no, but I'm not bidding for entrepreneur.club. Just letting you know.
So one very common question that we've seen is, how do I get in? Who do I need to bribe to get an invite to Clubhouse? So could someone just summarize how to get in, how it works? I know that Dan made a great comment. So could you just wrap it up for all of us?
So basically, and I put 2 comments in the thread, so you could build it in writing as well. You need to be on an iOS device, iOS 13 and above, like 13.1, I think it is actually. Now that means you're talking about a iPad, which is probably within 4 years old-ish. I can't remember the exact model now, but it needs to be able to support iOS 13 point whatever and above. An iPhone, obviously. I think it's an iPhone 7 or 8 and above and newer. Or as I've got a little iPod Touch, which is a 7th generation iPod Touch, which is what I use. So you need to have one of those 3 devices at the moment until they open it up for Android. To get an invite, there are 2 main ways. You either get an invite, so if someone sends you one of their invites, who's an existing member, and they basically text it to your cell number, and you get your mobile number registered through the invite. You click on the thing on the link that you get text to you via SMS, and you get in that way. Or if you download the app, and this is a free way that you don't actually need an invite for, technically, you can download the app, reserve your username, right? And it will say basically awaiting an invite. Make sure that your mobile number, or your cell number if you're American and strange, because like cell number, what's that about? Make sure that they have your mobile number in their contacts list, and when they open up their app, it will come up a notification in their account on Clubhouse that someone you know who's in your contacts list has joined. Do you want to let them in? You say yes. That's the free way of doing it. So you don't necessarily need an invite. You can do it the other way. It's just you have to make sure you're in each other's contacts lists and everything. But you have to reserve your username first. Okay?
Fab. And I would add to it that if anyone wants an invite, we have a Clubhouse invite thread where you get in, you get an invite, you invite the next person, they get in, they get an invite, and you get in. So if you want to get in, then get on the list and we will get you in. Related to this, a question: anyone has any predictions on when this might get into Android? So for those people who don't have iPhone, don't want to get an iPhone, don't want to have anything to do with Apple, what Android people might do? Gus?
So there's 2 things with this. So the Android users that I know, essentially the 2 main options are to buy an iPhone or use an iPad. I know a lot of Android users that are using iPads or have bought old products. I know Dan's bought an old iPod Touch. I mean, that must have cost him a bomb. but there's all these. You can obviously buy an Apple product, or Android are currently Clubhouse are currently searching for an Android developer. I don't know if they found one, but there was lots of talk about this job posting that they put across the internet, where they're hoping for a developer to come in. So it's going to be on Android very soon. Probably about a month ago, they said it's going to be roughly about 90 days. So we've got about another 60 or so days to wait. But if they're still looking for a developer, I mean, who knows? That's it could be a while. But yeah, the important thing is either buy a second-hand Apple device, use an iPad if you have a second kind of device such as an iPad, Apple iPad, or obviously you can wait a little while. But it is coming to Android. I think that's the important thing. It's going to be opening up to the world very soon.
Awesome. So I don't see any super relevant questions right now. There's lots of about invites and stuff like that, so we've covered. So we have 10 minutes. You have a couple of minutes each to give us your 2 cents on, if I'm a small business owner, I'm considering spending some time on Clubhouse, what would be the one thing I should do? And we will start with Alex.
Okay, yeah. So I would. So if I'm to frame that question, so if I'm a small business owner, which I am, and I want to utilize Clubhouse in how we leverage a Clubhouse as a platform for our business, the first thing I would do is absolutely. I mean, I bought just a secondhand iPhone. I also don't like Apple products, but I bought a little phone. It would cost me next to nothing at a local shop. Get in there, get your bio updated with, and keep it. And there are lots of different opinions and much better expertise than I can tell you of. But all I've done is set my bio up with what I'm interested in, the topics that I'm interested in having conversation about, a little bit about who I am and what I'm about and whatever else, and how to find more information about me. And then I've just put, connect with me on Instagram if you want to carry this any conversations we've had away from Clubhouse. Then the next thing I would do is use the search feature. At the moment, you can only search for people and clubs, and it's all keyword related. So join clubs that sing to you, if you like. So I'm part of a startup club. I'm part of one that's about education. I'm very passionate about education. So join the other clubs that you can get involved in, and look for people that have similar things in your bio. And then I'd spend the first kind of 2 or 3 days just dip in and out of conversations. And if you dare, if you're brave enough to put your hand up, if you're new to it, find someone that that's hosting rooms. You'll find, 5 of them are talking right now. We'll be happy to give you a safe place to come and get your badge for speaking up for the first time. But I think my advice really is the same as it has been for the last 100 years in business. Connect with other people that have similar interests with you. Don't see it as a sales tool. See it as a networking opportunity to expand your connections and look for collaborations in the platform to create interesting conversations that other people can engage with too.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. If anyone wants to test and play out with Clubhouse, then join in. I'm running a kind of an informal social media group every Tuesday at 10 a.m. So you're more free than ever to join in. I'm always inviting everyone to join on the stage to just test it and try it. It's a small group, very friendly. So I will drop the link below. Continuing with the top tips, we'll call on stage Dan. What is your top tip?
So I just echoing what Alex said about following people. I would avoid, it's very tempting when you first get on there. It will tell you people who are popular. And they tend to be like authors, people you've heard of, people who are fairly like prominent influencer types and so on. I actually started following those myself because I was like, they might talk about something interesting. They don't. So I actually went through and unfollowed every single influencer, author, prominent business person. Every single one of them, I unfollowed the whole lot. And I only follow now people who I actually have a conversation with. When you first get on Clubhouse, it'll be fairly raw. You'll be very empty. You need to follow people to actually have rooms shown. You need to put your interests in and so on. So when you do that, then rooms will start popping up. I would avoid the large rooms because, like we said before, willy waving, fakepreneur, kind of hard sell funnel hacking people. It's rife with that lot. I would absolutely follow a small number of people. And if you want to start getting in your own rooms, I've actually been testing this myself last week and this week. I'm actually doing a room at 12 p.m. UK time on Mondays and Wednesdays and 4 p.m. UK time on Fridays, right? And I've started doing it where it's just me showing up, just as I'm the only mod in the room. And the rooms, as I've been testing them, are basically pretty much empty other than a few people who I actually bring in. As soon as you start doing rooms with other people, then those rooms get shown in the search pages vastly, vastly more. So I'm doing a room on Friday with May King. I'm pretty sure that was going to be a much, much larger room than the rooms I did last week because there's two of us. If we invite a third person on as a moderator, they'll be even bigger. So you need to collaborate if you want to get broader reach. If you want to have niche discussions, then bring those people together on the platform yourself from outside. So I hope that all makes sense, but that would be my advice.
Yeah, that definitely makes lots of sense.
Over to you, May King. You're muted, though.
Thank you. You're on mute. Following on from what Dan said about following on follow, that's one of the first lessons that I learned. People said, don't be tempted to follow everybody, and which is a different strategy that I did on the other platforms, on Instagram and Twitter. Out of respect for the people who followed me, I instantly followed them. But on Clubhouse, apparently, it actually shows you rooms based, it goes through algorithms to show you rooms that they think that you are interested in. So, following on from Dan, he unfollowed a lot of people. I actually need to do that myself. I want to follow things that I'm interested in. I want to follow people that I can help. I want to follow my friends. I don't want to follow the peacockers and willy wavers. So be selective in who you follow, because then Clubhouse will recommend those rooms that of people that you've followed. So that's one of the first strategy. Now, if you want to create FOMO for your business, listen, take a snapshot. Whether that's an Instagram story or a tweet or notepad and paper, which you can post afterwards. And what's amazing about Clubhouse is that you can click on a person and you can see that if they've completed their bio correctly, you can see instantly their Twitter or their Instagram profile. So I do this live. It's my job. It's kind of what I do. But when I'm taking notes, when I listen to some great advice from Alex or Lenka or Dan, like I did yesterday, I will tweet it. And I can tag them instantly because I've got, I can click on their profile, see what their Twitter name is, if I didn't already follow them, and tweet it straight away. And then, in order to stretch that one photograph a bit further, that's the repurposing I was talking about, I cheekily put that onto Instagram stories and tag Dan, tag Alex, tag Lenka, whoever I tweeted, and that enables you to give yourself a bit more publicity for your business, which is the first step to creating FOMO for your own business. So be selective in who you follow, share great information, repurpose that information.
Awesome. And leaving the hardest to the last, Gus, you already heard some of the tips, so that's why I left you to last, because you have so much to add. So what would be your take on this?
Wow, where do I start? Well, first of all, I agree with everything everybody said. That's the main thing. Yes, I did the same as Dan. I kind of went in. When you first go into Clubhouse, you get suggestions such as Kevin Hart or Paris Hilton and these kind of people. And at first I was like, yeah, great, I'm going to follow all these people. First of all, they're not in my sphere of influence. Second of all, they don't really set up rooms, and those rooms that they are involved in, I don't want to be involved in. So I unfollowed them. Now I only follow people that are in my sphere of influence. And that's the important thing. As May King said, your friends, people that you work with, people that want to work with you, people that you want to work with, etc. And obviously you can follow people who are, outside of your sphere in terms of people who you're going to learn from. So I follow quite a few Americans who set up rooms quite kind of late in the evening, kind of UK time, from whom I can learn. I can learn stuff about whatever it may be, kind of American politics or the Super Bowl or something like that, something that I'm interested in, but outside of work. So that's the first thing. The second thing is definitely complete your bio. It's unbelievable how many people haven't completed their bio on Clubhouse. I find it's really strange. It's a selling tool. You wouldn't set up a business Facebook page or Instagram page or Twitter or anything and just leave it blank. So don't do that with your bio. So make sure you fill it out. To give you a quick tip, if you want to obviously follow me, I'm at mguru UK, but you can also search, you get the little, the guy wearing a turban emoji. If you just search for that, just the emoji alone, I'm second in the list out of 2 million people on Clubhouse. That's assuming that only some people are using that emoji. So yeah, emojis are searchable, terms are searchable. I've put on there the fact that I work with Agora Pulse and I'm a member of the Hub and I'm part of Cambridge Social Media and all that kind of stuff. That those terms are searchable. So make sure that your bio has keywords. It tells exactly people what you want to do. It's connected to your Twitter and your Instagram. There was a question about LinkedIn as well. Although it doesn't directly connect to LinkedIn, I've put my LinkedIn URL in my bio because I use LinkedIn a lot. Obviously, I want people to connect on there. So have a great bio. Use emojis. Don't connect to the world and their wife, and just and basically just go on and have fun. And really, there's basic stuff as well in terms of when you moderate a room, put your phone on do not disturb, because and I only learned this through Gary V because it happened to him. So Gary Vaynerchuk had a room he was the only moderator. There's 2,000 people. His phone rang and it ended the room. And it basically said this 2,000 people were just obviously staring at their phone thinking, what's just happened? So put your phone on do not disturb. Set yourself up for a chat and just go and have fun. As Alex said, just go in to a few rooms, try it out, check it out, and just go in there and just make the most of it.
Wow, amazing. Thank you guys, and thank you everyone for tuning in for an hour of quite exciting Clubhouse talk. We'll obviously keep an eye on the app. We will be playing around, testing it. The guys will be playing around, testing it. If you are on it, you want to follow us, you want to join us, feel free to do so. We'll make sure to bring you a more of an update, hands-on how to do session later on once we figure it out a little bit more and once we can put a proper plan for you together, then we will do another Clubhouse session. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, I think, keep them coming in the comments. I'm sure myself, my team, and the guests will be checking them out. And thank you, everyone, for being here today with us. It was awesome.
Can I just say, Lenka, before you go off live, just to say thank you to everyone at Cookers. We've got our live draw today for the Shifties Live-a-thon. And we had a few speakers from this crowd, Lenka being one of them. We had Kenda join us as well. And we've raised nearly £5,000 for a local mental health charity. So I just want to say thank you to the Cambridge Social Media crew for supporting that initiative that we've been working on.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure and it was a fantastic day. I know that you still have the links for replay somewhere. So we'll make sure to attach it to the description stuff. If anyone wants to donate, it would be much appreciated. The donations are still open, I'm assuming. Yeah,
up until you got another, you've got 1 more hour, and there's some crazy draw. If you're local to Cambridge, there's crazy prizes. I mean, a year's worth of bagels. We've got spa retreats. We've got, access to launch programs and sales mastery program. There's 60 prizes, and you've just got to donate anything over £5, and you're in with a chance.
Awesome.
You had me at bagels.
I thought so. Well, you're moving up here anyway, Dan. It's a perfect excuse. Move up to Cambridge, get a year's supply of bagels to get you started.
Oh, are we talking cream cheese and salmon, or are we talking kind of like salt beef?
Both. I think he's got both. Alex at Bagel Box. Go check him out.
Awesome. I could talk to you guys forever, but we'll leave it for a Clubhouse room. For the time being, I will say thank you everyone for watching live. Thank you everyone for watching replay. And thank you to our awesome panelists. And have a lovely rest of the week. And I'll see you soon somewhere around. Bye.